Hey folks, I got another lesson for you here today. The last lesson I did was a slide guitar thing and I was tuned to open A. So today I thought I'd do kind of a corresponding thing. You can use ideas from both of these lessons together in one piece of music, kind of a 12-bar blues or whatever. So I'm tuned to open G today. So it's the same as open A, just a whole step lower. So my tuning from low to high is D, G, D, G, B, D. Sounds like this. It's a G major chord, that's why it's called open G. And so what I'm going to show you are a few chord shapes that I use in this tuning when I'm playing a blues. And the first chord is just what I just did, the open strings. Normally when I'm playing that G chord, I'm not playing the 6th string because my root note is on the 5th string. G's the root note. So there's the first chord. You can use those open strings. The next chord shape I'm going to use is a G7 chord right here at the 3rd and 4th fret. So my first finger's bar in the first 2 strings at the 3rd fret and my middle finger's on the 3rd string, 4th fret. So there's a G7 chord. Then I got another G7 chord 2 frets higher. First finger's on the 5th string, first string 5th fret. Second finger's on the 2nd string 6th fret, and my 3rd finger's on the 3rd string 7th fret. Still playing those open 5th and 4th strings. It's another G7. And then if we go up 2 frets, 8, 9, and 10, I got another G7. So you can see my 3rd finger's on the 3rd string 10th fret, my 1st finger's on the 2nd string 8th fret, and my middle finger's on the 1st string 9th fret. And then the last chord is a 12th fret. First 3 strings, it's not a G7, it's just G major. So we got a bunch of G chords we can use. So I'll just kind of mess around with those for a minute, kind of just staying on that G idea but using those chord shapes so you can see how I might use them in a musical situation. There's some ideas. You can see I was using all those chord shapes on the top strings, and the main thing I'm doing there is a half-step approach from 1 fret below. So if you take any of those chords, you move from 1 fret down and then move into the correct fret. That's always a good sound. So anytime you're on the 1 chord in a blues, you can use any of those ideas. The next chord in a blues, after we have 4 measures of the 1 chord, we go to the 4 chord. So you can bar the 5th fret. It's a C major chord in the key of G. Our 4 chord is C. So that's one I use a lot. If we want to make it a C7, we can add our 4th finger, 3 frets higher. And then there's another C major chord down here. Kind of an inversion. The root note's on the 2nd string. The lowest note I'm playing is the open 5th string, which is G, or you can use your thumb for the 3rd there on E. So there's a C chord. If you use your pinky, it's kind of a handful, but if you use your pinky on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, then it's a C7 chord. So there's a few C chords: C major, C7, C major, C7. And then we can take this chord shape and move it 2 frets higher. The last chord in our blues is a D chord. D major, D7. And then there's a D, There's a D chord right there. All these chords I'll have tabbed out on the website. Should be just below the video you're watching. So there's a bunch of chord shapes for you, and what I'm going to do is play through a 12-bar blues, and I'm going to use a lot of those shapes so you can see how I use those shapes in a 12-bar blues in open G tuning. So there's some ideas for you. Hope that you find it useful. Send me an email if you have any questions. Thanks.